The nine-pointed star is an emblem of the Baha'i faith. I've been to a beautiful Baha'i temple near Chicago, actually, and it's a very lovely, gentle religion that seeks to unify many of the world's large religions, things, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, even the ancient, very ancient religion of Zoroastrianism, which is the idea of light and darkness and the sacredness of light. The idea of unity is something that, I see in the universe in such a wonderfully profound way. And I'm so happy that this poet found the same thing there, the unity. So we know for a fact that the universe began with the simplest of all chemicals, the simplest of all atoms, and that's hydrogen. And this is not a theory. People often say, well, how do you know this? This is what the power of our modern telescopes can do, that when we look out into space, you necessarily have to look back in time because it takes light time to travel. There's no way to get around that. The sun is 93 million miles away, and light traveling at 186,000 miles per second takes about 8 minutes. So when you look at the sun in the sky, you're not seeing the sun as it is right now. You can't. There's no way. You're seeing it as it was 8 minutes ago. The light took that long to get to you. The nearest star to us in the sky is about 4 light years away. You see, that was 4 years ago. The center of our galaxy, where there is a massive black hole, millions of times the mass of the sun, we see that as it was about 30,000 years ago. And now, as you look farther and farther out into space, you see farther and farther back in time. And the farthest we can see with our instruments right now takes us back to a time about 400,000 years after the Big Bang. The light has taken that long to come to us. And in every direction on the sky, we have looked out to that distance. We've made a map all around us in the sky of what the universe was like about 400,000 years after the Big Bang. The universe was all hot, glowing hydrogen. There was nothing else. There was a little bit of the element helium, a tiny little bit of something we call lithium too, but really it was pretty much hydrogen, the simplest chemistry. And it was so hot, it was thousands of degrees, that the entire universe was glowing like the surface of the sun. Every direction we look on the sky, that's the limit to how far we can see. That's not how big the universe is. What it is we are trapped in time. And if we look back to a time so far away, we're looking at light coming from so far away, that the universe becomes so hot and so opaque, like the surface of the sun, you can't see any farther. That is the observable universe to us. But if you look at a distant galaxy, say a galaxy that is many millions of light years away from us, they see the same sphere centered on them. They see a different part of the universe that we can't see. Every place in the universe has its own sphere of visibility based on time. That's why we have no idea how big the universe is. There's a limit to how much we can see, because we eventually see to a point where the universe becomes opaque. It becomes that hot, that bright in every direction you look, and we can't see any farther. One of my favorite perspective ideas is that the sun is so big you could fit more than 1 million Earths inside the sun. It's gigantic. But if the sun were the size, the scale of the dot of an eye in a book, just dot of an eye, 1 million Earths could fit in the dot of an eye. At that scale, our galaxy would be larger than our entire Earth. So that's how big the Milky Way is. And you and I are flying around the Milky Way on an orbit. The sun is orbiting the center of the Milky Way at about 500,000 miles an hour. Over that time, we've gone around the galaxy many times in the history of the Earth. We've gone in and out of the bright spiral arms. We've gone into the dark recesses between the spiral arms, all the time picking up material, elements, the stuff of life. Some of the atoms in your body come from a star that died on the other side of the galaxy. It died 100,000 light years away from where we are now. But we picked it up as we went around that galaxy many, many times. It takes the Earth about 240 million years to go once around the galaxy. You don't have the debris of just one star in you, but millions, maybe billions. And some of those atoms come from thousands, tens of thousands, 100,000 light years away. That's where they were formed, in the sky. Point at a star in the sky tonight. If it's a clear night, point at any star you want, a near one, a bright one, a far away one. You and that star share atoms from the same moment that a star exploded billions of years ago. In your heart, your blood is red because of the iron. In your heart right now, in that blood, there is an iron atom that formed right next to an iron atom in that same supernova explosion on that star that is many trillions of miles away. You have inside you not only billions of years, but hundreds, thousands of trillions of miles. You are a galaxy come together to open your eyes briefly in the lifespan of the universe and be aware. Every single person, every single being, every single expression of life, and even beyond life, I feel this in the rocks, I feel this in the air, I feel this in the water. Every expression of the universe is the universe trying to understand itself. Right now, you are carrying a glowing ember from a fire that was set off 13.5 billion years ago in the Big Bang. You are the story of the Big Bang. You have a lot of hydrogen atoms in you right now. You're mostly water, which has hydrogen atoms in it. Those come from the moment that time began, the Big Bang. That's where you get hydrogen from. Everything else is in the death of the stars and the story of the galaxy. And every one of us is unique. The universe sees through your eyes, hopefully, 100 years, maybe less. The universe sees through the eye of a tiny little fly for a day. The universe sees through however a bacterium might experience life. All of us together are the universe knowing itself. And every single one of us belongs to the universe just as much as anybody else. It is just as important. The universe has one chance to look through your eyes in the vastness of time. And even if you're a tiny part of the universe, just think how amazing it is. You are the universe that opened its eyes and looked back up and said, how beautiful this is. And this is what I'm a part of. And this is where I belong. And everything around me, every human, every animal, every plant, every rock, every wave, you are part of as well. You share that story. So if you think that the vastness of space should make you feel insignificant, yes, you and I live for a tiny, tiny little blink of an eye in the universe, but we opened our eyes, and that made us part of a huge story.